بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق أجمعين. Dear students, dear scholars, today, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to continue what we have started in the previous sessions in the course The Rise of the Novel. The Rise of the Novel, just to put in minds of my students. So it tells an indication about its growth or development or evolution with what we call classical criteria or literary indications. Okay. I remember that we have dealt with the introduction about the novel, its importance, okay, its growth, dealing with some point of views or perspectives, okay, by E.M. Forster or Edward Morgan Forster, who has delivered several classes on the novel, because he is one of the greatest novels in English, a modern or 20th century novelist. As you remember, his views deal with what? Deal with the necessity of the novel, the importance of the novel. Okay, how to develop and improve the novel. Again, he commented on some novelists and novels. In another session or in the following session, we had some ideas about Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe as an introduction also. Okay, dealing with the what you call history of the novel, its composing or making, with reference to the author, to the novelist. Who is he? Daniel Defoe, in a subtitle called Author Biography. Today, inshallah, we are going to deal with some new aspects, a pivotal point of view in the novel. What kind of the novel? Robinson Crusoe. Okay. What is the topic? What is the subject? The plot. The plot of Robinson Crusoe. Here we have a summary. Okay, very short one, inshallah ta'ala. But before going to the novel itself, reading, analyzing, or making sort of critical points on the novel itself, let's revise what we have mentioned of the glossary of literature, particularly of the novel. One of the glossary or figures, the plot. The plot can come as an inquiry or a question in exams to write a definition of the plot beside some other glossary or figures of speech. So the plot, as you see here with this chart or with this diagram, it is a way of making the story, the work, the novel, for example. It should go frequently through 3 steps. From the beginning, going through the middle, until the end. If you, for example, jumped talking about the topic from the middle, it is not accepted as the plot. Or you go back directly to the end, again, it is not the plot. The plot should go frequently or in a sequence from the beginning, which is called the exposition, the start. Okay. In it, the writer tells his audience or readers, okay, about what? About the beginning, introduction. Then there should be an action in the story. This action can be what? Can be strong, starting from what? Gradually, starting from what? From a point of view, from a specific point to be what? Natural, then rising up, up. So it is called the rising action until a point. This point is the climax. The climax of the story. It means the peak, the top, or the end of the conflicting action. The end of the conflicting action. So the problem is solved, is shown, became clearer. After that, okay, the writer, the author, the novelist finishes gradually, or gradually finishes his story, making the action calmer, or going down until the end. Okay. This is the what you call chart or diagram of a plot. The scene we can watch here, another what we call perspective for a person dealing about the plot, dealing with the plot. So here we have the exposition, start or exposition. Then how many steps? There are several steps. In the previous picture, we had only just direction. Here we have episode 1, episode 2, 3, and if the story itself is divided into episodes or stories, all of them from number 2 until the end, until the climax, they are called rising action. Okay, rising action means that the problem reaches a solution, solving the problem, or the action is clear now. After that, going down to the end. Okay, as you realize that the climax or the top or the peak of the work itself, it is somehow around the middle. Somehow around the middle of the story. Not exactly in the middle, around the middle. It can be before the middle, after the middle, no problem. According to what? According to the what we call skillfulness, okay, proficiency of what? Of the writer to make his plot, to plot his plot, you can say, to plot his plot, okay, or to plan his plot until the end. Starting from the beginning, here we have an introduction, until the middle, a sequence, until going through the middle, until what? Until the end. So here we give a picture about what? About the plot. What is the plot as a definition or explanation? That every classical story, drama, novel, short story, or whatever, short story, must be or must contain a plot or a plot and subplot or episode of plots, as you may realize in what in the first classes when we talked about the glossary or the figures of speech. Going today quickly to what? To the plot of Robinson Crusoe. What we have, look, the beginning, going in the middle, what events happen in the middle, then the end. Very short. In fact, this plot is very, very short. Why? Because the novel is big, large, long. But the one who made this plot made it what? In a concise, very concise one. And because still you have no great what you could experience about what will figures of speech, glossary, dealing with the elements of the novel. So I think this is suitable for you to go through it, reading it, realizing it, understanding it several times to be what? To be suitable. Again, I should not forget to remind you all that the main goal, the main purpose is to increase our background of the language, to acquire as much as possible of the vocabulary, words, terms, idioms, then going to phrases and sentences like that, okay, and so on. The first episode of the plot telling us as an introduction. I feel that it is what an introduction in York. So the what you call hero, the protagonist of our story, born in York. What is York? City in England. Let's read. In the York region, or prefecture, state, region, it is like region. Okay, or shire can be called shire, as it is used in Britain. A retired German trader, okay, by the name of Crusoe, and Crusoe, I feel that, or I think it's not English, it's German. Yeah, okay. Of the name of Crusoe's settler. He lives, okay, in England, but its origin is what is a German. Yes, it is here. As a result of the normal distortion of the language in English, the German name became Crusoe. So when you read Crusoe or Crusoe, I don't know. So it is difficult. To make it Crusoe is much easier. Okay, so Mr. Crusoe marries a Robinson named woman in York, one of the oldest whatever cities in England. Their third child, Robinson Crusoe, was born in 1632. Again, as I always say, the dates are of some significance since they might come, okay, in the what you call multiple questions. And also when you answer a question, essay question, you need to refer to the dates. The father of Crusoe decides early on that his son will become a lawyer. So sometimes, you know, all fathers and sometimes mothers, they prefer their children to go on their preference. They guide their children to go on their preference. But sometimes it is not the right way to compel or to enforce your child or children to go or behave in getting experience live, to go as you wish, as you want, a father, I mean. It is, I cannot say wrong idea, but it is not successful. So let's say Crusoe decides, the father of Crusoe decides early on that his son will. Okay. What is the correct thing you realize is that the father, yeah, should guide his child or children to the preference of the future, yeah, but to give a chance to the child or to the children to decide themselves according to their to their hobbies, to their abilities, to their what you call intelligence. This is the success. Okay, going back to Crusoe. Crusoe would be placed with nothing but going to say. Now let's compare the difference. The father needs something, but the son wants something else. Only going to the sea. And what we can say, which is a shame. Why it is a shame? Because the father doesn't want. Right? This is the point. Going against to the father's desire. And look what time the novel was created in the 17th century. Right. That is not permitted by his parents. This is the way it is what it is called a shame. Okay, it's a shame behavior or a shame selection. Going to the next episode, next point is to London and trade. Instead of fulfilling the what you call desire of the father, he has done something according to what to his, or mixing between the father's decision or desires and he himself traveling and trade. So after a year, okay, Crusoe eludes capture and accepts a ship to London, traveling from New York, from one of the oldest cities to the capital, to the central city of England or of Britain, London. Okay, وما أدراك ما لندن, Paris, وما أدراك ما Paris. These central cities of Europe. Wow. Yeah, these are what we call informative ideas or data. On September the 1st, so the date here is on September the 1st, 1651, in the mid of the 17th century. Crusoe departs, okay, leaving from York into London. He makes a commitment to go home to his parents during a horrific storm. Decides to go back, refusing voyage, but does not fulfill. Nonetheless, okay, on the other side, he breaks his promise after the ship sinks. Is the first, what you call, experience on the sea. Instead, he travels to London and makes friends with a ship's captain sailing to Genoa. In Arabic, it is Genoa. English, it can be different in sound. He embarks on the trip. Crusoe decides to embark on another expedition, another what you call adventure or group commission with his friend after a successful one. Okay, leaving now from London to another place outside England or Britain. Beside that, or different from that situation, after his friend passes away unexpectedly, he leaves the captain's widow the majority of his money. So it is generosity, let's say. So Crusoe gives money to the widow or to the wife of his friend that passed away, the dead one. So his wife became what? A widow. Invest some. He has some to the wife or widow, some to be invested, and purchases trade items with the balance, with the rest. And again, embarks on another voyage on the same ship. So if we stop here, we can say something about his desire now, that he is interested in in traveling or voyaging, okay, on the sea. What kind of sea? Any. He is made into a slave when Moorish pirates, okay, board the ship on the way to Genoa, Genoa, to become a slave for a while. 2 years later, Crusoe and the slave child Zori make their getaway on a fishing boat, skiing, okay, from slavery. Again, here is what we call a risky travel or skiing. They travel along West Africa's barbarian coast. It is barbarian coast called with this name because of what? Because of that, what you call problems, catastrophic events happens in this coast within West Africa. Okay. Finally, a Portuguese ship heading for Brazil rescues them just off the Cape Verde Islands. It is called Verde Islands, an island, okay, around the West African continent, okay, to we can say South America, yeah, to South America. We might see the island. Here is the just imaginative point or imaginative picture that here is what you call the island. Okay. He sells him to a ship's master along with the boat stock. With Zori's approval, Crusoe decides to buy a Brazilian sugar plantation and a slave in order to make his fortune in the region. He wants now, after these sorts of voyages, travels, adventures, traveling from Britain to Brazil, he went to what? To invest the rest of his money in making what? A plantation and related to what? To sugar. It is famous that there, it can be what? It can be cheap and it can be what? With great benefit. Okay. Crusoe has had some success with the new business. He becomes interested in heading a slave expedition to Africa since he is a little restless. The work is hard and it needs several laborers to help. As a result, he sets sail for Juno at the evil hour. Out there. It is not available with us. Okay, so evil hour means a bad time, the 1st of September 1659. What happened? Tragically, a hurricane causes the ship to capsize on a sandbar, and only Crusoe lives. All the travelers died. Only him. Here is what you call the skillfulness of the writer, of Daniel Defoe, to create such a picture. Okay, such a plan for what? For the plot. The third episode, or the point, or subplot, the island of despair. Reaching, after being saved or secured, to what? To the island. Here we finish the introduction. From this point, we are what? Having the action rising in a good way, in a strong way, anyway. Okay, the island of despair. When Crusoe discovers he is stranded on a barren island, he's alone in mind, alone on ground. He is startled, like a crazy one. He transitions from shock to joy. Yeah. After being shocked, he became somehow happy. Why? Because of realizing that he's still living. The others died. Okay. To joy and appreciation for having survived. He is better than the others. So it is what? It creates a sort of happiness inside him. Okay, what else? Only with this situation, the mind is working. About what? About his future. What he should do. Alone. In an inhabited island. Okay. When he realizes how hard his predicament is, he panics. Again, he panics. Means to be what? To be stranded, to be startled, and pushes around in shock and dread. When he remembers that he is alone, he becomes frightened. Okay, what should I do for future, for tomorrow, alone? How can I live? Ultimately, nods off while holding a stick in a tree. Crusoe spends several days gathering supplies and materials from the shipwreck. So he was lucky that the shipwreck did not sink into the sea or inside the sea, that he could bring some belongings, some needs, okay, to help him. He builds a fort out of these rescued items that he names his castle. Yeah, it is a bush house or a tent, but for him, he's alone, so it can be like what? Like a castle. where he lords over a dog, few cats, and a parrot. These are the other creatures that, are what surrounding him or accompanying him. In this castle, in this island, or on this island, he keeps a time log. For a time, he used to write like diaries. But when his ink runs out, he is unable to continue writing. He learns after reflection on his life that he has been nasty and self-centered. He expresses regret and vows to live immoral lives. Regret for his decisions and vows to live a moral life if he is secured either on the island or going back. What we need to know now, if you remember, for those who studied with us appreciating drama, you realize what we have mentioned about the free will or the decision on the play called Oedipus the King. The person carries the responsibility after what? After having his choice, his selection or decision. Here is the scene. Any person insists on following his own decision, her own decision, he or she should what? Bear the responsibility. Crusoe spends his days touring the island, enhancing his castle, raising domesticated goats, experiments with ceramics, and learning other self-sufficient skills. Now he has to do the life by himself. He has to be what? The master of all trades. Or the jack of all trades, and master of all. Because he's alone now. None to help him. After obtaining food and shelter, Crusoe constructs a boat. So he needs to discover, either for hunting, for fishing, or for discovering the island from outside. Crusoe constructs a boat. He builds a little one, but perilous currents almost carry him out to sea. He exclusively uses the boat to get around the island and to the other locations. He wants to be familiar with what is going on, and this is necessary to be, or to get what you call ability, understanding the surrounding. Times passes, years going on. 12 years later, after seeing the print of a man's naked foot on the shore, what happened here is again one of the what we call rising actions to discover that he is not alone on the island. There is another one on the island, so it is inhabited by others, and he sees what the print of the foot. Crusoe almost passes out from fear, a reaction to create, being frightened. He increases his defense in a rush of self-preservation. In addition, he finds human remains and evidence of cannibalism. So they are not human beings. Cannibalism means, those what you call criminal people or cannibals, like barbarism. After 11 years, he witnesses a cannibal feast. Now it becomes clearer. Crusoe is able to recover some supplies from a Spanish ship that has sunk off the coast. To be lucky to find another shipwreck and get some supply for himself. reaching the next point. The last point is the end of, or before the last, yeah, the end of solitude. Now to find someone, okay, on the island. In his 24 years on the island, now look, after 12 or 11 years, now he became what? 24 years. He had a dream one night about saving and civilizing one of the cannibals. On a Friday, 18 months later, he realizes his dream to be what? To be fact. To rescue and save, okay, one of the cannibals. Who is he? Until now, it is not clear. So we need to understand. The wild man thanks Crusoe and prostrates himself as his fate. Like what? Like worshipping or showing adoration for saving him. Friday sees Crusoe calling him and teaching him words like master, yes, no. Friday gradually develops applied demeanor or quality and takes on English customs. So, as I mentioned, or as we read in the previous page, you remember that the day of finding this person, this cannibal, was on Friday. So he called him Friday. The name of the slave became Friday. It is what a name invented or created by Crusoe, not the real name of the person or of the cannibal. Okay, this is the idea. Crusoe is informed by Friday about the Spanish castaways residing with his tribe on land. Problems outside the island. Crusoe starts building a larger vessel so he can transport the Spaniards to his island. The island is visited by cannibals who are hostile or antagonist enemies to Friday's tribe in the 27 years ago, the previous ones, along with a handful of their prisoners. Crusoe and Friday assaults the cannibals and release one of the hostages, who is a European. After Crusoe kills a few of them with gunfire, the remaining cannibals run away. It comes out that Friday's father is one of the prisoners. A sort of happiness for Crusoe and also for Friday, that the father of Friday is what is saved or secured by him. Crusoe increases his agriculture output thanks to assistance from other and wise counsel. He himself, the skillfulness of him, and also the help of Friday, especially Friday. The Spaniard and Friday's father set off to collect the remaining Spaniards on the condition that they recognize Crusoe as their leader. Now, the life, the atmosphere, the behavior of Crusoe has changed. He became what? As a sort of a leader for a group of people, newcomers, either Spanish and cannibals. English mutineers arrive on the island. So we say mutineers means rebels or revolutionary or against the law. In the meantime, with the intention of eliminating their captain and his devoted officers. Those rebels, the English rebels, they wanted to expel their captain and the loyal officers, and to be themselves like pirates, to be themselves the leaders of the ship. Crusoe and Friday save them, save the captain and the devoted officers, apprehend the rebels, and seize control of the ship. Also, rather than returning to England to face punishment, the mutineers decide to remain on the island as Crusoe's subject. Yeah, if for example they go back to England, they will be faced with with the sentence, okay, to be what you call jailed, punished, okay, or sentenced. But they decided to be what? To be subjects or followers, okay, for 2 or 4 Crusoes staying in the island. Crusoe brings Friday to England as the rescued English captain's honored guest. Here's what you call closing from the end, now realizing the plot until the climax. What comes after is what is the calming down of the action to the end. Back to civilization, from being isolated, alone, okay, in an uninhabited island with adventures, different adventures, around 28 years. He is going back or coming back to what? To his home. In June 1687, after 28 years. 28 years, okay, hiatus means being isolated or living alone. Crusoe visits London once more. After receiving a payment from English captain, Crusoe discovers that his parents have passed away. I mean, it is a loss. Okay, it is a loss. Look to the long of time. Many things will be changed, sure. Okay, Crusoe learns that his prior investments have made him wealthy. So the first one is negative point. The second one is a positive point. His parents died, passed away, but also he has good, okay, or good income because of his prior or previous investments. He returns to London after paying his loyal servants and selling his plantation, the sugar plantation in Brazil. He marries and has 3 children back in London. As his wife passes away, again, died, he sets off on one more expedition. Now his life became his life becomes or became connected with with the sea. He stops by his colony, which is flourishing on the way home. In the middle, a colony or an island, okay, between London and the place he want to go again for another adventure. Here is the end of the plot for this session. I'm happy with your attention. Okay, wish you all the best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.